Couch Pilots co-host replacement interview number 4, Sarah Frakes. DSJ, please bring her in. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my goodness. I really appreciate you coming in and talking to me. You know why you're here, of course.
For this new job position.
To replace Blake as the co-host who crapped out on me. And, I mean, everyone eventually craps out on me. That's just the story of my life.
Yeah.
I'm just a sad sack.
Yeah.
I got a few questions just to make it official. Obviously, there's some nepotism here since we're related. You being my sister. First question. Blake often spoke about his sexual exploits. Since we are siblings, would you please not do that?
I will try my hardest not to.
Does it come out organically for you a lot?
It does. It does by just random topics.
Random topics bring up your sexual conquests of the past and just everyday conversation?
Yeah, for sure.
You will find a way to minimize that or eliminate it completely, please?
Okay.
You can do that?
I'll work real hard at it.
I don't want you to strain yourself. If this isn't the right fit, it's not the right fit. I don't want to make you not talk about your sex.
All right.
By asking you to not doing it, we are kind of doing it.
But not with specific details.
Please never.
Okay.
And you know what? I will honor you by giving you that same respect.
I appreciate that.
Okay, we'll put a check mark by that. Is it weird having mom and dad at the same place at the same time? Because they're divorced.
As in Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
After 13 years, it was not weird. I felt nice.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
This is for the interview?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is all part of it.
Okay. Yeah, super awkward.
Oh, it is awkward
I went and
now.
threw up in the bathroom. All of the sweet potatoes and the stuffing.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird when mom and dad are like when I can look in a room and they're both in their room. I thought the same thing when Grandpa died, because they were both in the basement at Grandpa's house. I was like, hey, they're like standing next to each other talking. That's pretty fucking weird.
Where?
In Grandma and Grandpa's basement.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, next question.
Okay.
If you were to have your own segment of the program, what would you do with it?
Oh, hot topics.
Talk about all the different Simon Mall hot topics you've been to.
Exactly.
The front looks like a dungeon. It's not a dungeon though. They have like a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff in there.
They do. They have some of those old belts from the 90s with bottle caps.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me.
Lava lamps.
We'll move on from that. I've been looking for a way to get Hot Topic involved with the show, so that's a great answer. What happens when you die?
That's a good question. I'm still looking for that answer.
Oh, you don't know either.
I don't.
Okay.
Have you met someone that does? Do you have info I don't know?
I watched the movie Flatliners with Julia Roberts, where they like purposely kill themselves and then bring themselves back. I felt like that answered a lot of questions, but then it left a lot of questions unanswered too.
Okay.
So
Never seen the movie. I have to put that on my.
See it. I'd say see it.
I was thinking more City of Angels. I thought I could be an angel sitting on a lamppost.
Yeah, remember when Meg Ryan dies in that, and he's like, I just fucking gave away immortality, and now I'm gonna die in 30 years.
Yep. She was singing that Irish song from the Goo Goo Dolls.
I know that one well.
I always kind of get in another world when I listen to that song.
Mm-hmm. No, that was a very popular song. I had a girlfriend, and it was our song.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the Goo Goo Dolls the last couple of years at the Civic Center.
Did you not pluralize it?
Twice.
Oh, I thought you said Goo Goo Doll.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay, I didn't know if the lineup had changed and like contractually they had to drop it.
I think it's still plural.
All right. Yeah, what's your favorite song by them? Mine's Long Way Down.
I think that Black Balloon song.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Chemical Romance, I think. Who really won the recent presidential election?
Biden?
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for coming in. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. I think with my sister it'd be a little bit more simpatico, but that clearly ain't gonna work. She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I would have seen?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the show's on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you're aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show's called a pilot. Then they take that one show and they show it to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing. She started one of the ones that became nothing.
It's my desire. Danger, danger.
Welcome to Couch Pilots. All of you are my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television, pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is my high-voltage hero. It's Captain Kev Moslice. Good evening.
Electric 6.
Oh, yeah. I kick myself every day that I didn't go to the Cabana Club in Champaign to see him live.
Really? When? 2006? 7?
No, as recent as probably 3-4 years ago.
Ooh. What didn't have Jack White then, though?
Say again?
It didn't have Jack White then, though. Didn't have Jack White then, though.
Are you saying that the Jack White is in the Electric Six?
He is in that song, and he toured with them. Yes.
I had no idea.
He's in that song. You can tell it's him. Well, I mean, you can tell it's a Jack White-esque singer, but it's actually Jack White.
Singing?
Yes. That's him. You didn't know that? In that song features Jack White. And he's not in the rest of their songs, but he toured with them.
From the White Stripes.
Yes, Electric. yeah, from the White Stripes. Jack White of the White Stripes. Yes, that the very same.
Jack, you mean you're talking about Jack Black?
No, not of Tenacious D. No, it's Jack White from the White Stripes.
I had no idea he was in that song. I've loved that song for a long time now, probably 5, 6 years. I had no idea Jack White was involved at all.
I loved it back when it was out, when I was in high school.
This is what happened. I would go to a lot of like thrift stores and stuff, and I'd buy CDs, 10, 15 years ago. And I came across...
Do you prefer tapes or CDs?
I'm a CD man.
Why don't you CDs nuts?
like your testicles?
Dios mío.
Ay, ay, ay.
Can't do it.
I would go to thrift stores and I'd buy just like different interesting looking collaborations or like there's so I bought the CD. It was from Express. Remember the store Express?
The store, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Express would be like every time you go in, there's like, ooh, what's this cool modern music?
Yeah.
And so they'd have these compilations, and I bought
Express
one.
Express was kind of all right.
It was the female version of Structure. Right?
But I had Express clothes.
I think Structure went away, and then they said, hey, Express, guys too.
I was, by the way, shout out to this week's sponsor, ExpressVPN.
Big shout out.
You can
Express.
get a free 3 months if you use the promo code CouchPilots.
Yep. Do it now.
Yeah, please. But Express, I wore Express clothes in high school.
I never did.
It was like the lion.
Was that their thing?
Logo. It was like a boxing. It was like the Fightin' Irish logo.
Oh, I like that.
But with a lion.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I bought some thrift store or something. I bought an Express compilation, which included the Electric Six song, High Voltage.
Yeah.
Never, ever knew until just now that Jack White was involved. That's him singing.
You can hear, you know Jack White's voice.
Right.
Obviously.
I saw him at, we were just talking about Riot Fest before we started. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in 2019, I saw him with the Racketeers.
Yeah.
Their whole set. That was great.
So, he is a guest on that song back in the mid-2000s, 2005 to 6, whenever that came out. He toured, well, Electric Six opened for the White Stripes, so he would come out and sing that song because it was their last song.
So that's him singing that
That's
song?
him, yes.
No idea. I'm looking at the video.
He's singing the half of it. He's not saying the whole thing.
Yeah.
Fire the Disco, but you can tell it's him.
I will listen with new and refreshed ears.
It's actually him, yeah.
The video shows not him, I think, and just dudes dressed nicely that are singing. I thought, oh, that's the band. That's who's singing. Never again will I even think about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Electric Six. They have a couple. They have a couple bangers on that debut and only album. I think maybe.
Oh, really?
But yeah, that's. I'm just making sure here.
But they're a European group, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
They're no.
They're not. Boy, I am full of
Gay Bar
misinformation.
was their other hit. Gay Bar.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah,
on
they're
YouTube.
American.
Really?
They're
Okay.
they're from Michigan. Yeah, Royal Oak, Michigan.
Oh, Royal Oak, the grandest of all oaks in Michigan.
For sure. Jack White, a fellow Detroit native, performed the secondary lead vocals on the track.
Wow.
Yeah, members of the band have claimed in interviews that the singer was an auto mechanic named John S. O'Leary and not Jack White. Although music critics suspected this name was a pseudonym for Jack White.
I get it.
Yeah, it was him. They opened. Yeah, they kind of like I said, toured together. Whatever. Great group. Great song.
I love that song.
Great life.
Great life.
That's a great song.
My daughter will always refer to that as the Express song.
Oh, really?
Because it was on that compilation, and on my iPod it would come up as Express as the album, and so she always remembers it being an Express song.
As like the band being Express.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yep, but that is a great tune. I know I've recommended it or suggested it, or even what is that? I said play this when you're doing DJ events.
Requested it.
That's the word. Request.
Yeah, request.
Maybe I
Body
should
request.
stop drinking so much.
I think we can afford to have a couple more old. Ooh, wow! How about that pop? Couple beamers here.
Yeah, that Jim Beam was not bad.
It really isn't.
I need to start drinking hard alcohol more often.
I that's the idea with the
calorie
diet,
intake
the diet.
from all the beer.
Yeah, even though like this is like as much as this.
Yeah. Calorie wise.
I told myself with the diet that I was going to not look up anything and not count anything, but I looked up how much like scotch was, like a single serving of scotch, like
It's a
shot and a
2
half
ounce or so.
Yeah, like an ounce and a half is like a shot. So an ounce and a half shot is like 80 calories or something like that.
Yeah.
And like the Miller 64s, they say it right in the name. It's 64, but it's like.
But you're gonna get more fucked up
drinking
on the whiskey though.
Yeah, but I'm drinking this whole damn beer. I feel like I'm having a whole slice of bread, you know. But when I have a little shot, I feel like I'm having a little tiny piece.
So you like that better?
I do. I like the hard alcohol better because I think that I'm having less. But truly, calorie wise and all that, it's probably not. But I like it better.
Just because you're ingesting less.
Yes.
But you're getting the same results of
Yes,
getting
yes.
fucked up.
That's the same reason why anybody would ever, smoke weed instead of eat it. You know.
I heard. I think vodka is calorie count wise is the smallest.
No, it's high because
it's high.
It's potatoes. Yeah.
Oh.
Tequila, silver tequila, white, clear tequila.
Yeah.
is the lowest.
That's the okay. Well, good to know. Boy,
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm getting my information. I don't know about fucking Jack White. I don't know about goddamn calorie counts on vodka.
Hey, this is I'm schooling you this one. This is the young schooling the old because you're old.
I am old. I feel it's funny you say that too because I have a weird colic in the back of my head, and it always looks like I have a bald spot. But like lately, I feel like I'm losing a lot of hair. Like I feel like maybe it's thinning out, and I am. I'm getting older. I'm almost fucking 40 years old now, and I maybe I am losing some hair back there.
You could be, and that's fine. I actually recently asked my parents. My brother is like, I don't know if you've seen my brother.
He's the one who helped us move.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was probably wearing a hat then, but he is like, it's like fully like, he has hair that's like longer than mine, but he like slicks it back, but it's just like, there's very thin, and he knows it, and I don't know, like the thing
does
is,
it bother him?
I don't think it bothers him because I asked my parents, I said, hey, I have a family question. I was at my parents' place this past weekend, and I posed this question to Steph and my parents. I said, what do you think if I get like a thing for hair loss for Christmas for Andy, my brother? Like a Roman, they advertise it on podcast hymns
And Rogan, all that kind
Roman,
of,
yeah. What do you think about me getting that, like maybe like the starter kit, and then if he wants to do it? And both my parents just were like, nah. And I was like, really? You really don't think he cares at all? They're like, I really think he might a little bit, but he really doesn't at all. Like he truly, because it's too late.
How old
honestly.
of a fella is he?
He's 32.
Yeah,
32. Going on 33 in a couple months, but he doesn't care enough, I don't think, and that's good. That's admirable.
So the fact that he's losing it is bothering him a little, but not enough for him to take action.
I don't think it's bothering him at all.
Okay.
I think that people point it out, and that's bothersome to him.
Uh,
Like, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
So is he the guy who's gonna like just let it happen, or is he gonna be like, fuck it, I gotta buzz all this off?
He's not going to buzz. He's going to let it happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, which is fine. I just feel as if I were him, I would be like really self-conscious about it. So I'm like,
you think you would go for the hymns route or
yeah?
the
For sure. I'm thinking about doing it now.
Okay.
And I'm not even like close. Like when I get out of the shower, I can just see, like my scalp. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
sure.
Do you ever do that? Like when it's wet, like you see your scalp.
I think
more?
that's the worst time to look at it is
I
when it's
know.
wet because everything's sticking together. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
can see it. But I definitely in the past, just even less than a year, I've been taking note and kind of looking at my hair. I was like, what's going on?
Mine's fine, right? Mine's fine.
You look good. Yeah, it looks good to me.
It's not. The thing is, mine's never gone back. Really, it's been like this since like I was in middle school.
Here's what I look like. How's this look?
That's about the same as mine.
I have pretty good thick hair. It's
Yeah.
just right in the back. I
The
think.
back, the back. Yeah,
But it's either
that's the problem spot. That's
it's
the male pattern
It's the
baldness.
colic fucking with me here, or it's starting to thin.
Both
And
could be both.
could be both. And I don't know.
You don't wear hats like I do though, so the traction alopecia is not an issue for you.
I never wear hats. My head's too big for it. I have a friend who was starting to bald. He'd been on the show once years ago. His name's Mike, and he had started to bald in high school a little bit. And once he got into he got into like being like in the punk scene, post high school, and he would like take the hair. He had some hair then. He would literally take Elmer's glue and do the mohawk shit.
Yeah, Liberty spikes.
Yeah, but since then he has lost a lot of hair, and he trims it, and it looks good. He looks really good on him.
Yeah,
But what makes it even better for him is that he can grow the greatest, thickest beard of his life. But I can't do that
you
part.
can. You can.
Ugh.
And this is what I wanted to talk about today. To be honest with you,
Please.
so, and I noticed, and I take note right now.
Please.
Mentally, you've done it. I think. I don't know. Start the goatee before you start the beard.
I don't.
Got to do that.
I really?
Shave again on the sides.
I'm not going. I just
I
shaved
know.
with a razor
I heard
for the first time in probably 2 years or so, and I looked at myself and I was like, it was the day after we recorded last time, and I shaved with a razor, and I was like, my God, I look fat and old. And it's like, you can be fat, you can be old, you can't be fat and old. I got to grow this beard back immediately.
This is what you got to do. Shave the sides. Shave the sides. Keep the goatee, and then grow out the sides again. Have the goatee a little bit longer than the beard. It looks better. It
looks better.
It just looks better. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you can't grow a goatee. The whole point is that this just doesn't grow as fast. I don't care who you are. There's nobody that just has a thick mustache and nothing here. Well, there are people that are like that, but it's not you, and it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not you, and it's not me.
I trim, like I let it grow for like 2-3 weeks, and then I will trim it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it doesn't grow in thick, and I feel embarrassed.
It grows enough. It's not the. I was just talking to Steph about this the other week. There's this guy that has a beard that's like a never been shaved beard. Never shaved.
The ZZ Top.
But it's like a couple inches long, and it's just it looks like this. It looks like the.
I will never do that.
It looks like the wispies.
I will only if I become Tom Hanks on Castaway. That's
Starts
the only
about
way,
here
but-
too. Starts about here.
Yeah, I would never just let it go big. I can't do that.
I would, but because I have girth to it.
Yeah.
Because I know what I can do.
Okay. And God bless you.
You've seen me. When you first met me, I had the long beard.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass.
Bad. And like an ass.
Your hair looked like the ass, like the hair on an ass. What do you have any other banter you want to do?
That was about it. I figured we could just make a mountain out of a molehill there. But do you have something that you wanted to focus on? I feel like you have a note.
I do. Have
Bring
a
it
note.
up.
And that note right now is today. If you're hearing this on the day of release, it is December 28th. It is 3 days after Christmas. It is 3 days before the new year. And I will say this, CouchCon tickets are on sale now.
Holy shit, you're right. We are right in the taint of the holidays.
It
as they
happens
say.
once a year between Christmas, between New Year, that little sacred taint. that is the hot spot for buying tickets. It's the only time tickets are available
The
for
Sacred
CouchCon.
Taint is the hot spot, and that's what I've always said, Jason. Thank you for
You've always
bringing
said
up.
that, and that September is good.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. September, it's good.
It's good.
But you know what's even better than September? The Holiday Taint. When you can get your tickets for CouchCon. CouchCon is an event that famously happens whenever it wants to happen, usually later in the year.
Usually mid-October. So
Usually
we're just
later in
coming
the year.
off of this last event a few months ago where we had a virtual experience.
Yeah.
We're not doing that again this year.
No
We'll
way.
always keep it fresh, okay?
Yeah.
Did we have a good virtual experience? Of course we did.
An all right virtual experience. I was a part of the virtual experience. Of course.
Absolutely. Tell people what your involvement was. in
So
last
my
year's
involvement
CouchCon.
was I was the MC for not this one, but the past CouchCon.
And you're in charge of all of our merch, too.
And I've always been in charge of all the merch, which, by the way, if you go to expressvpn.com/couchpilots,
Yes.
you can get some of our merch.
Take me to merch. Remember that song by Hosier?
He has one other good song, and it's really good.
Is it just the remix of Take Me to Merch?
Hey, Siri, take me to church. Hey, by the way, everybody that has iPhones that's listening to this, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh, goddamn. Look at that. I got it. That's funny.
So this year, instead of having a virtual experience and being put on a VR headset and joining us that way, we are going to do it live. We are really throwing all of our chips in that COVID is going to be virtually eradicated and that people will be able to
But not
get
only
out.
virtually eradicated, physically eradicated.
I'm
too.
sorry, I should have clarified. Thank you.
No, that's okay. Because we're not going to be virtual this year.
No,
next
not,
year.
not virtual.
Excuse me. Yeah.
It's going to be eradicated, hopefully, and people will be able to get into live events in person. And we hinted at it earlier, and this year's event will be at Red Rocks.
Oh.
That's confirmed.
Okay.
That is
I know-
confirmed. Non-refundable down payment has been made.
The reason for my reaction, no, I love Red Rocks. Great.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for my reaction is because I had a strong bid on, this is off pod, of course. I had a strong bid on Four Seasons Total Landscaping, but I know that they're booked up, they're full up for all of 2021.
Yes, we try to get on that hot wave of Four Seasons and say, hey, obviously Mayor Giuliani visits this place and patronizes them regularly. It makes it a hot spot.
Lays down his bed, tucks in his shirt.
It's a massive endorsement from a very powerful man. How can we kind of draft off of that? And the answer is we can't because they are booked up.
Yeah, they're booked up. But that is my second choice. I mean, it's not my first choice, but it's my second choice. Red Rocks, famous for having a lot of jam bands play there.
Yes.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you know,
And we're going to have a jam band play. Can you guess who it's going to be?
oh boy. Okay, so there's
I bet you're going to get it.
is it Fish with a PH?
It is Fish.
Oh, Trey Anastasio,
Trey
Mike
Anastasio.
Fishman.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep, we're going to do it. We're and here's the thing. It's with the ticket included. You get a free what is it? A tab? What is it? A button? You get a free button coming in.
Tab a button.
Yeah, some fucking drugs.
A tab.
Here's the thing: we're getting you some fucking drugs.
Hey,
when
you know what? You're getting some fucking
a little
drugs.
button,
okay,
right?
buddy?
That's,
a little button.
What's a button? That's
It's a tab of ecstasy. You
No,
roll. You can either be rolling.
peyote is what I was thinking. Is a button a peyote, right? Is that what they call it?
Peyote. Yeah, peyote. It's like coyote, but with a PE in front of it. So
It's kind of like ratio and patio. Shouldn't patio be patio? Right? It's either radio, patio, ratio, patio. It's the same fucking thing. Fuck you, English language.
tomato, potato.
That's right. It's spelled exactly the same. Just
Tomato
pronounced
and
differently.
potato. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Hey, you got me.
Hey, Trey Anastasio, great guitarist.
Is he? I'm sure they're all very
Hey,
talented.
Fish. I'm glad that we did get Fish because you know that I pulled some strings.
Thank you for pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Fish.
Some tampon strings. Whoa.
Ooh, high five that shit. Whoops. Red Rocks, Fish. That's all we can say now.
That's all we got. Yeah.
But thank you to everyone
We
who's already
talked off
purchased
pod
a
about a
ticket.
little bit of the other stuff, but
There's-
yes.
Yeah, a lot of other wheels in motion. Thank you, everyone who's already purchased a ticket, and everyone who's listening now. If you haven't done it yet, get on it now.
Get on
I
it
guarantee by the end of the year, tickets will be sold out. We'll have some VIP stuff later,
Mm-hmm.
but those prices go way up.
And something that has not been done in the past, The link is in the description of this episode if you want to buy tickets to CouchCon.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, in the past, it's been kind of mysterious, like, oh, buy the tickets now, and we never really gave you a link. I'm not going to say what the link is. If you're listening right now, scroll. You're going to find it in the description, okay?
Yep.
It is a Passionately Fuchsia or Classically Blue link for you. Let's get these tickets sold.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on
By the way,
the fasten
perfect.
seatbelt sign.
Yeah, perfect.
September is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, September.
Well,
yeah.
it's good,
It is good.
I'd say.
I like October, too. That's pretty good. Today we discuss the pilot episode of The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island, from the year of our Lord 1900 plus 92. Great year.
Great year. The Presence, it's... you're probably still playing with your presents at this point. December 28th, right?
After Christmas, unwrap the presents, still play with them?
Presents. I got a lot of presents.
Before I put them in a closet, forget them out forever?
92 was a great year. I had a thought of what I was going to do as a new bit or
THOT, ghetto whore. A thought.
Do you know what it stands for? You know it's an acronym, right?
No.
Thought? It's that hoe over there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's actually what it is.
Okay.
I was going to look up a sports fact for each year of what the pilots are, but 1992, I can remember sports facts in years that are when I was a cognizant human being. 92, I was only 2 years old, so I don't remember what happened that year.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, sure. His second
Slam dunk?
was it the slam dunk contest
I don't know.
versus Dominique Wilkins? Probably.
That was the second.
Second championship year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 91 to 93 and then 96 to 98.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was back in the day when the dunk contest was not just rookies and sophomore quote-unquote players dunking in the dunk contest. That was when they had the best players dunking.
Yeah.
And their best dunks.
And no one was jumping over a Kia.
Yeah, but the reason why they had those guys doing it is because, they didn't care about injuring themselves.
Yeah.
But now it's all just...
Now it's a slum fest, right?
So weird. But shout out to Nate Robinson, got knocked out. I'm sure you saw something about that.
Big shout out to Nate Robinson. He was a former NBA player who decided to get into a kerfuffle, as it were, a boxing match with one
slobber knocker.
The Paul brothers?
Donnybrook. Yeah, one of the Paul brothers.
There's Jake Paul and Logan Paul.
Logan
right?
Paul was the first. I will take what am I saying here?
Suicide Forest. Is that what you're saying?
I'll take precedence here as
as
the Vine expert.
Yes,
as
of
the social
course.
media expert.
Yes, of course.
Logan Paul was the first person to become social media notable. We'll say. I don't like to say famous. He was the first notable person
Really?
of them too, right? And he has been surpassed in, I think, notoriety by his brother, who is younger than him, who rode on his coattails to fame. And that is Jake Paul, who I saw a documentary series about on YouTube where he had a boxing ring in his home. And this was about 3 or 4 years ago. And I think we got into this last time we talked. Or
maybe.
We didn't? I don't know. But he has a boxing ring in his home, and he has been actually training, and he's like trying, whatever. So good for him. He's been doing these exhibition boxing matches for a while. People go, oh, yeah, okay, this YouTuber is going to fight a real athlete. This real athlete, by the way, is like 5'6".
Well,
here's a short guy.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
This guy.
Am I getting too into the sports zone right now?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
This guy, this Paul, whether it's Jake or Logan, whoever's doing the boxing, if you have $1 billion,
Yeah.
why would you ever want to fuck your head up? And that's what you're doing. You're going to get hit in the head a bunch, whether you're good or not. And I totally concede. He may be good. He may have been practicing enough and have the right people coaching him to he might be good. Why in the world would you ever sacrifice your health to do this thing? Second of all,
I don't care how rich you are. Why would you ever do it? But anyways,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. Second of all, I don't know one from the other, but if you Google Jake Paul house or Logan Paul house, what I would invite you to do is go to your kitchen drawer and find the sharpest knife possible and then I would glue it to the floor where the knife is pointing up. And then once you see the images of the homes that these boys lived in based on the money they've accrued from content on YouTube, I would
and other social medias, even worse than YouTube.
And then I would fall onto the knife.
Boo Radley style.
Just like Boo Radley once did. Scary. Ooh,
Boo Radley.
I for whatever
NASA?
reason, I looked at their house one time on Google, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's unbelievable. And what does this guy do? Like
pranks, fart jokes,
Fart
jokes on YouTube.
Hey, where's my money? I fart every day. That's why I can't keep a girlfriend. I
earlier.
fart in my sleep.
Yeah, you farted over there earlier. And
Yeah.
when I point over there, I mean in my mouth. Let me tongue punch that fart box, buddy.
There is always a distance away, but in your case, it means on your face.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where I farted.
Over there.
Giuliani style. Yeah. What a week that guy has had, huh?
Yeah, melting face. Well, a week he's had a few.
Leaking just for men and farting on TV.
He's just like an old guy. Who cares? I don't care.
He's a Republican, right?
I guess
he is. He's elected to the mayor of New York City. And he's like, my God, look at all the great things he's done for this city. Look how he cleaned up Times Square. People can walk down here without being afraid. And then he...
and now he's just like a...
he's a punchline everywhere.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like he's like when people say, oh, you know, Lincoln was a Republican. And it's like, yeah, the party's flipped from
things change.
Liberal to conservative
everything
like many
evolves.
times. But like, this is so like close in time that like Rudy Giuliani was like a cool guy like 20 years ago.
Like, seriously?
He was the fucking man 20 years ago.
Not even 20 years ago, like 12, 13 years ago. I was like, I'm not sure. Like, probably Hillary Clinton she's gonna run, and she will do well as far as getting the Democratic nomination. But like, it is for sure gonna be Rudy Giuliani, and he didn't even get it.
Yeah, he didn't even.
And I was like, for sure, that guy. He's got people love this former mayor of New York City, America's mayor, as they call them, and like he flopped hard, and now he's farting on TV.
It's gotta be like just like a money thing, right? Or like a
what's
that? Well,
that?
he's always had money. It's like his money is going to be affected by what
The farting
happens. Yeah, the farting by the elections. I think his money is tied up in Trump stuff. I don't know, right? Wouldn't that make
Trump's
sense?
Lawyer.
Yeah,
You tell me.
So his money.
I don't hate Rudy Giuliani.
He's gonna make money no matter what. I don't know why he's like so pro Trump. I mean, okay, yeah, he's his lawyer, but like you're still gonna make the money no matter what.
It's weird to be like a practicing lawyer after having been the mayor of New York. He's an interesting case. I don't hate Rudy Giuliani.
I don't
think I think he's like making an ass of himself right now.
Yes.
I feel bad for him.
You got to feel bad for him because he's your grandpa. He's your grandpa.
Yeah.
That's really what he is. He's just like he's farting and melting just for men over his face. It's like, dude, just come on, man.
Hey, what? Just go take a nap. You're fine. Everything's fine.
We're getting dangerously close to politics here, and I apologize.
Well, I don't talk about politics, and I don't talk about religion, and I don't talk about cops.
Neither do I.
But what I do talk about are some things that happened in 1992, and so we can properly get in the mind frame to understand, digest, and eventually regurgitate information about today's pilot, which is the president's AKA Danger Island.
Definitely.
So let's go back to 1992 in our minds. So so something that happened that year, December 1st, South Korea and South Africa reestablished diplomatic relations. South Korea previously had diplomatic relations with South Africa from 1961 to 1978 when they were severed by the former due to the latter's policy of apartheid.
Yeah.
Do you remember apartheid?
Yeah, that's really weird that they severed ties because of that. Because like the Korea is bad.
South Korea is good.
South Korea is
good.
good.
It begs the question, how can one Korea seemingly have all of its shit together and the other being a steaming pile? South Korea is like quickly climbing the charts of the foreign lands that I would like to visit.
All right, so you got the American South.
Sure.
And Florida is included in there.
Technically.
And you got like the American North, Midwest, whatever.
Okay.
We're different from, Florida.
The United States is a big country.
And it's been very apparent with the coronavirus pandemic.
Either is acceptable.
That has been going on, ongoing. It's still ongoing. There's a big difference in the kind of outlook on those kinds of things, right? And so it's made it more apparent how different the cultures are in these two places, Florida specifically, and Illinois, even more specifically, Chicagoland, right? Very different. But you have two countries that are next to each other that are pretty much one California or one Illinois.
It's like a North Dakota, South Dakota.
It's like, how are they so different? Who knows?
It's very bizarre.
Knows? But I watched the interview for the first time. Have you watched the interview before?
I watched it when it first came out.
You got to watch it again. It's very good.
Is it good?
You want to know why it's good?
I do want to.
It's the last offensive comedy movie.
Okay.
It is the last. That's it. That's it.
They said, that's a wrap on the interview, and then someone yelled from the back, "Let's get woke."
Exactly.
And that was it. Huh?
I'm not even joking. I swear that is exactly what happened.
The interview is the last movie that Al Jolson put his stamp on.
Throwback to last week.
I kind of want to
Al
bring
Jolson
up.
mentioned.
I want to bring up Al Jolson.
Hey,
every
you know what?
episode.
We're gonna bring up the Al Jolson fact of the week. Al Jolson fact of the week. He was born in North Dakota and raised in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Hold on. Did you play that one more time?
The drop I just played?
Yeah. The Randy Savage.
Sure.
one?
Yeah, I'll play it again. No problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
There's something at the end of it.
Well, it's professional wrestler Randy Boffo. He went by the name Randy Savage.
Poffo.
Oh, Poffo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he went by the name Randy Savage, and he would often say, "Oh yeah,"
Like the Kool-Aid Man, but he was
Right.
the precursor to the Kool-Aid Man.
he was before the Kool-Aid Man, but he would always say, "Oh yeah," and then this is just a little drop that we have of him doing that.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like there's like a little lead into like some music at the end of it. Whatever. You know what? It just sounds like it. It probably isn't, though. I don't know.
Of the drop I just
The
played?
drop that you just played.
The rain. Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to that again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
It might be apparent. It might be apparent to the listeners. I don't know. You want another one?
Want another one? Yeah. At the end, it's like.
Can I add? I'm going to have to, when I try to figure out how to take them off of that, I
Yeah.
need to try to add all of those. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't. Hey,
The Casey Kasem drops.
imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Number 1.
All right. We got one number there. You want another one?
Hold on. I'm really invested in what you're saying about this drop here.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a little swell. at the end.
Undoubtedly, swell's the perfect
There's a
word.
swell.
We'll have to investigate that. Thank you for bringing that up.
We'll investigate it and figure out what the hell that came from.
Want another one?
You want another one?
December 3rd, a test engineer for SEMA Group uses a personal computer to send the world's first text message via the Vodafone network to the phone of a colleague.
SEMA Group. How do you spell that?
SEMA.
Okay.
Now, I don't throw around the word.
So that's like Seaman Group, but like without the A. Or without the N. Excuse me.
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Seaman Group without the N.
Text message. Would you rather hear from someone on a text or a phone call?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
It's a loaded question.
It was set up for you to fail.
I would rather hear from somebody at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, honestly. It depends on who I'm hearing from, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. I am a rare breed of my age where I would prefer a phone call,
Yeah.
especially when it's something of substance.
Yeah.
You know?
You and I had a phone call recently.
Yeah, exactly. And I really liked that. And I was like, I feel like I called you. I said like, hey, can I call you? Or like, hey, call me. You know.
So let's hammer this shit out. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I need to have that. And it's not only for me exclusively, my age group. You
Yeah.
know, we've addressed the age difference on this show. You're 9 years older than me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very old.
So it's.
I just got my ARP card.
Yeah, you got your ARP sharp, buddy. So I think that the thing, I think that we need to focus on having more phone calls. I think that's the end of the day.
I agree. I once
think we need
dated
more
this.
phone calls.
I once dated this lady, and our texts. If we were in an argument, our texts would escalate quickly.
Yeah.
And I at one point we said, you know what? If we're getting into an argument, we won't text. We'll just call each other on the phone, or we will have the conversation in person.
In person. Yep.
Because it's texting back and forth, especially in like an argument, is very same as being in your car and getting road rage.
Yeah.
Because when you're in your car, you're in this literal metal and glass bubble where someone cuts you off, honk, 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 middle finger, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But if you were face to face with that person, you would never yell fuck you to their face.
And who is that other person? Somebody with autism, maybe? I don't know. Somebody that's an old lady?
Could be an asshole. Could be someone who just made a mistake. Maybe they didn't see you and just they fucked up a little bit.
Either one of us.
It could, yes.
And we hate to be the receiving end of that because we're like, oh, how do I communicate that I'm sorry? You know, but you can't. So you can't communicate that you're sorry effectively.
You can't hear the inflections or the cadence in our voices. So of course, get on the phone, see someone in person. If you're going to have a serious conversation, or if you're in the middle of some sort of argument, some sort of fight, a tiff, if you will, a bindle, perhaps.
A bindle, maybe.
Maybe you should guys just do it in person, so you don't escalate it further.
Been living with this person that is directly above us.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Amen.
For 6 years. 7 years, almost 7 years.
Right.
Been living with her.
Right.
And it's difficult sometimes to understand each other and say like, hey, I want to talk this out. But the foundation of our relationship was built on text messages. Therefore, she thinks that it's easier for me, even if she's there, text it out. And I agree. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty tactful.
If you both agree.
I'm pretty tactful at it. I prefer, but my preference, always talk it out. My preference is always talk it out.
What's the farting situation?
You do just whenever oh gosh, it's like it's so weird. Whenever I like go into bed, she goes to bed a lot earlier than I do, and I go into bed and it's like every time like right when I get in there, just let one go. It sucks and I hate it and I hate that that's how it is. But I have said many times like, I won't if you don't want me to. I won't if you don't want me to.
Yeah.
Like I said, 7 years. I won't if you don't want me to. No, go ahead. But then there's still, God damn, as soon as I do it. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that it was going to smell like that.
You've ruined another night.
I didn't know it was going to smell. So when I am aware of what it smells like, I'll test it out before. And then when I am in the same presence, like I'll come down here.
Sure.
Take a nice little fart, okay, and then come back up and be like, this will fly.
Yeah.
You know? And then that's it.
Test fart, and then you know what's in the chamber, and then you can.
Sometimes I'm surprised though. Sometimes I know it's in the chamber, and I come back up. Oh boy, whole different animal.
Kevin, Kevin? Is that what you get a lot? Kevin.
I just get a whole lot of silent covering the nose.
So I date ladies, and I don't fart in front of them ever.
Which makes sense. I agree with that tactic.
And then like if I when I sleep in my house, like 5:36 in the morning comes around, and I'm blowing the sheets off the bed with my farts. So I'm terrified to sleep with a lady and fart it up. And then if the other part of it is like if I don't do it, I'm in pain.
You're getting bubble guts, yeah. You're getting some real bubble guts in there. Just bunch of that. I don't know.
We're gonna skip the last
last thing that's in the year that we're in.
I was 11.
92.
I was 11.
I was 2.
Yeah. Why do we choose to watch The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island?
It's because it's a pilot, okay? Plain and simple. It was a pilot. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant. Also, a couple other rules. It's on the internet and it's free.
Woo! Pretty good. So where can you find the entire episode of The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island? We can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, Kevin.
And you know what to do, Tube. Do you like when I say not during you saying SoundCloud? It throws you off quite a bit.
I thank you. I've been trying to.
Prepare for takeoff, please.
I like that you do it. I'm
But
working
it throws
through
you. It does throw you off
it
every
has,
time.
It has not. Not every time. Not every time so far. There's been once or twice that I've got through. I think did I get through it here or not? Did I fuck up?
You didn't, but I could. I know you well enough that I hear the little tiny things.
I'm trying. I like that we're finding our own rhythm, and I like that you're doing that. I do. I genuinely like it. And I've noticed.
I don't know anybody that notices. Well, hey, you know what, Blake? Let me know if you can hear the little difference in Jason's voice when I say "not" during SoundCloud. He says like Papple podcast. He says Papple.
Well, that might also have to do with the.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Full festive flavors for jolly, joyful jingles.
That's a red ale with ginger and orange peel.
This is Revolution Brewing Fistmas, which sounds like a dirty pornography film.
Merry Fistmas.
What would that look like to you? Like
Fistmas?
Would it be like you taking your fist and covering it in a condom that was made to look like a stocking, and then inserting that into a human's orifice?
No. It would look like Big Sausage Pizza. You know the website?
Big Sausage Pizza?
Yeah, you're familiar.
I don't know that website.
Oh, come on! This is back in the heyday.
I remember E-Bombs World.
Well, E-Bombs. It's around the same time. BigSausagePizza.com. It was.
I don't know that.
They would have a pizza, and they come in. Hey, anybody order a pizza? And they open up the box, and there was like a hole cut out, and their cock meat was out.
That's the whole thing for that website. That's all that website was.
That's all it was, and it was like a fetish.
Okay.
Was pizza.
I am
honestly, I've
bookmarking now.
I feel like it's maybe even a website still to this day, but it was
okay, saved. Thank you.
That was pretty much what I think with Fistmas is a present, not a dick in a box, but it's my fist in a box.
So okay, yeah. It's my fist in a box.
That's it.
It's my fist in a box, girl.
I would like I stated maybe off pod, maybe at the beginning of the pod. Fistmas, it came out when I was pretty much like right at Revolution Brewing, and it came out the year that I was there. Like, and they were like, "Hey, we're coming out with this new beer. It's called Fistmas." And from the off jump, I was like, "Okay, this is a fist in a Christmas
fist
box.
In a box.
A fist in a box. Fistmas."
'Cause I'm wise enough to know when a gift needs giving.
That's right.
And I've got just the one.
I'll sing that on Karaoke Big E.
I wish that you would.
I will.
Summary of the pilot.
Yeah.
A mixed assortment of people survived the crash of an airliner at sea. Cast upon a shore of a mysterious island, they discover dangerous creatures, exploding bananas, mutations, and a biological weapons facility.
Good.
I like your scale.
Good.
It doesn't throw me off. You know what does throw me off sometimes is interesting facts.
Interesting facts. Don't talk about interesting facts this Christmas. This New Year's. Let's hear from Conrad, huh?
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
I forget. Conrad was a guy that Blake knew that listened to IBWIP, and when Blake went to California where Conrad lives, Conrad tattooed him.
Correct.
And Conrad was a friend with a guy who was dating Lori Garcia.
That's where the connection was.
Yes, and then Lori Garcia liked the show, and then her and I used to talk a lot, but we don't talk as much anymore. But she's a great lady.
Yeah.
And for all intensive purposes, Conrad is a great guy who tattoos urinals and chickens on people's calves. Right.
As far as I know, that's all he does.
I mean, prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong, Rudy Giuliani.
Interesting facts. Show about this is these are interesting facts as they pertain to the presence, aka Danger Island. Shown on NBC on September 20th, 1992. Fact.
September's good.
Tagline. Sometimes we get taglines for the
Is
program.
it September's good?
Tagline for the President's, a.k.a. Danger Island. September is good. And they also went with From the Past Came an End to the Future, which is the shortest sentence that is also the most convoluted sentence I've ever heard.
It's a weird sentence. I'll be honest with you.
It's like
a weird sentence.
It's like common saying, cliched, opposite, period. Filmed in Hawaii, fact.
Hawaii.
Stars Gary Graham as Rick. You may recognize him from Robot Jocks.
Graham, pronounced in England, is Graham. Graham.
Oh, Graham.
Graham.
Greyhound. You may recognize him from Robot Jocks, Alien Nation, and Star Trek Enterprise, fact. Pause on interesting facts real quick.
Yep.
You remember Robot Jocks?
Robot Jocks. Is that where they took the...
How about this? You remember the film The Cinema with Hugh Jackman? He's a robot fighting boxing.
Shadow boxing.
Real Steel.
Real Steel. That's the one. Yeah.
Robot Jocks.
I saw that in the theater.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Good?
I actually. It was not terrible. I was not also looking at it as a movie that I should like.
Was it like it's good?
I went to it because I needed to waste time. I was like in between shifts at my
so weird that you remember
my job.
It that way.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could tell you the context in which I've seen any movie.
Yeah. I honestly, every movie that I've seen in theaters, I can tell you why I saw it.
So bizarre. Alien.
How bizarre?
No, don't
1 million
start that again.
1 million clowns.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Isn't that what your brother told you? He's like, oh yeah, OMC. How
Yeah,
bizarre.
that's 1 million.
This is your brother's voice. He said, hey, the OMC stands for 1 million clowns. It's not right at all.
God damn it.
It's something Millionaires Club, right? The guy was
I think it's 1 million.
No, it's something Millionaires Club, and he was the lead singer from OMC. He's dead now, R.I.P. But he was from New Zealand. He was a Kiwi, and so it's something. So the O is probably something. Yeah, that's how they say it there. The O is probably something as it relates to New Zealand. Go ahead, look it up.
Otara Millionaires
What the
Club.
fuck is Otara? Some indigenous people in New Zealand? Who the fuck knows what Otara is?
Auckland. Yeah, they're from Otara, Auckland, New Zealand.
That's exactly right. Very nice.
This show is built on my back burps or something.
Over there in your mouth?
Over there in my mouth.
Alien Nation is a weird show. You remember that fucking shit?
I only know Zombie Nation.
Alien Nation is a weird show.
Alien Space Nation?
It was on Fox, late 80s, early 90s, and it was they were human beings. They looked like human beings, except they had large bald heads, and they had spots on their heads, and there'd be weird sex scenes with these aliens, and it freaked me out as a kid.
It was in a Green Day song. Alien Nation. American Idiot.
Is that right? It was on that?
Alien Nation. Oh, gosh, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I never saw it once in my life.
It's basically saying like, hey, a while ago aliens landed on this planet. We've decided to take them in rather than kill them off.
Yeah, Galaxy Quest-ish.
Yeah, and then the alien on Alien Nation was like a partner on the police force of some guy. That used to freak me the fuck out.
He's just got like a tie on. Yeah.
It was scary.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God.
OMC? What?
OMC.
What do you got there? You gonna show me?
It's a picture of the Alien Nation guy and Rick from the pilot that we're discussing.
That's what I'm saying. You may know him from Alien Nation.
So he was in the Alien Nation.
Yeah, he was on the TV show for Fox.
I love it.
Also stars Kathy Ireland as Laura.
Oh.
You probably know her from National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon, Necessary Roughness, and
jacking off.
And from being one of the 90s top supermodels and a 2-ton mega crush from my high school friend Nick.
And also... Oh, God, I
Bash
can't
Brothers?
do it. Oh, I can't do it. Yeah, the Bash Brothers. Can't do it.
What
the hell is it?
From the Bash Brothers?
It's from the Bash Brothers.
It's a cardboard cutout.
Cardboard. I got 100 cardboard cutouts of Kathy Ireland all in one room. Watch them. They watch me fuck myself with a broom. Oh, Kathy's. Oh, my Kathy's. I know every word to that, and I can't
Do you
remember right
really?
now. Yes, I know
It's
every
like a
single
half hour, and you know everything?
I know every single word to all that whole thing, and I know it. And I could, if somebody played it with it, I could sing along to it.
You have a phone. You should probably work on that right now.
No, I can't do it.
If you haven't seen the Bash Brothers
I
experience,
gotta take like a real Couch Pilots-esque. I gotta take a piss when you're doing something.
Go ahead. You want to do it?
Well, what do you got going on here?
I'm just going to talk about the Twitter responses.
Talk about the Twitter response. Ooh, this is actually good. Twitter responses.
That's right. Twitter responses. This is.
Do you hit a thing for that?
No, Blake would sing a song.
I sing a song that goes, Twitter responses. Oh, Twitter responses. Jason, I know that you got some Twitter responses because I'm on Twitter all the time, baby. And I saw that you got some, and I know that they are quality Twitter responses.
I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead and pee real quick.
Yeah, I dare you.
Yeah, we do have a Twitter response, and this is something we do in every episode. We say who was involved in the program, and we say all the writers, directors, producers, creators, and actors. We say greetings from the Couch Pilots podcast. We talk about TV shows that had only one episode. Next up for us is The Presence, aka Danger Island. We're excited to watch it, and we're wondering if you had any fun or interesting info you'd want to share. Thanks. Hope to hear from you. Well, we did hear from someone this time. We heard from Ned Van Zant, and he is at Ned Van Zant on Twitter, and he says, actually, I'll say Ned Van Zant he played Paul on Danger Island, and Paul says, amazing. We hoped it would go to series, but NBC said no. It was a precursor to Lost, also filmed in Hawaii. June Lockhart from Lassie and Lost in Space and Richard Baymer, West Side Story, starred alongside with swimsuit model Kathy Ireland, who was at the height of her Sports Illustrated fame. I responded by saying, the cast is such an incredible mixture of talent. Any idea why it didn't get picked up? The synopsis reads exactly like Lost, as you mentioned. Ned Van Zant goes on to say, as I remember, June Lockhart was not a happy camper during production. She may have nixed it, or possibly there was another show vying for the Hawaii Diamond Head studio lot. At the time, there was only one production facility on Oahu. Now, I don't know anything about film production or TV studios, but Hawaii Diamond Head Studio sounded just like there was one studio on Hawaii and maybe only one production can happen there at a time. And this one was not selected as the one that could do so. Either way, thank you so much, Ned Van Zant, for responding and giving us a little bit of more of an inside look at the making of and what happened with The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island.
We like to say Ned Van Zant is not Little Ned. He's Big Ned because we got Little Steven.
That's right. Amen to that.
I agree with exactly what you said. Like, they were vying for the Hawaii studio or whatever. You can only have one in this place.
Apparently
right?
so.
It would make sense in the late 80s, early 90s.
Now, Ned Van Zant played Paul.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I'm struggling to remember who Paul was.
If anything, Paul was so they don't say names other than like a few of them throughout, and this is a long pilot.
Yeah, this is a made-for-TV movie. It's an hour and a half long, and yeah, it's kind of a backdoor pilot.
I think Paul was the guy with the fancy dress,
the white outfit with the suit and the hat. I was thinking the same thing. I
think that's Paul, but they never reference his name. I mean, if they do, it's like at the very beginning, and why are we paying attention to the beginning?
In the beginning,
come on, I don't need to hear anything about this setting.
There's so much happening at the beginning of this thing.
There's so much.
You're trying to take it all in. It would be stupid to try to.
Hey, spoiler alert! Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Okay.
Spoiler alert! 265 episodes in, we're still talking about the pilot synopsis. Okay.
Yeah, babe.
All right. Let's go ahead.
You got another Twitter response, right?
No, I think that was it.
You got one more, didn't you?
I did?
From the lady.
Next week, there's a lady and a fella. Was there someone else?
Oh, no, there was no. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Are we good?
Excuse me. I apologize.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. That was a great Twitter response, though. So thank you to Ned Van Zandt, brother of Little Steven.
Actually, hold on a second. I did have a response unrelated to the show. Well,
Really?
related to the show.
Nice.
But this is from the Maria and Dennis show.
Okay.
And they say, I respect your 3 things you won't talk about, which are politics, religion, and cops. So for whatever reason, they decided to chime in on that. But thank you.
That means that they listen to us. That means that the tweeting, I have no recommendations, is working.
Yeah, I do like to. When people ask for recommendations to podcasts, I do like to, from the Couch Pilots Twitter, respond, I have no recommendations.
I really do want to start entering these episodes into the Twitter group that I've been doing for the Sixer. I think Biggie would probably hate it, though. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Do whatever you want to do.
He doesn't listen to the show anymore, so it doesn't matter.
He doesn't listen to the karaoke show?
He doesn't listen to Couch. He doesn't listen to any podcasts anymore. He drives 20 minutes to and from work. You know, doesn't listen to podcasts during the day anymore.
That's on him. I don't know.
Hey man. Well, I caught up on only. Hey, do you have more? What's next?
Next is we're gonna break down the pilot.
Before we break down the pilot, podcast wise, I have only listened to my pals' pods.
I still listen to a lot.
These past few weeks, I have stopped my mainstream pods, the guys that are in Hollywood, making a bunch of money, except for the Sloppy Boys. I listen to the Sloppy Boys one. But I listen to indie podcasts, people.
Yeah.
If you're listening
that's
to
like
this,
Scott from Karaoke Big E.
I know.
He only listens to independent podcasts.
I have had no time. I haven't been driving a lot. You know, I've been truly staying pretty close to home. I haven't been driving up to my parents.
I'm alone at home a lot, so I can do that. But if you're at home with your wife or your kid, you got to pay attention to that. But I listen to a lot of stuff when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say. This is my podcast recommendation.
I know what it is already.
Oh, what is it?
Office Hours.
I would say listen to that. But what I was going to say here is, and they just came out with a new episode today as time of recording. Bananas for Bonanza. This is
Bananas for Bonanza.
Bananas for Bonanza.
Bonanza. Okay.
This is
cool.
a podcast by Andy Daly.
Okay.
And he does it as the character Dalton Wilcox.
Oh, no way.
And he does the podcast with Matt Gorley.
Okay.
And
like Matt Gorley's voice a lot.
And he does it also with Maria Bamford.
Oh my God! Come on.
Last episode, I was like,
really?
I was like, oh yes, I bow to all hail Paula Pell, former SNL writer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very funny lady. Yeah. Maria Bamford is the exact right amount of crazy. She is an insane lady, and she is fantastic on this podcast.
We have a shared love for Maria Bamford.
I a couple weeks ago I saw her a special she had like an HBO or so. It was great. She brought her husband up there on stage with her. I need to like fully dive into the Bamford universe, but I haven't watched her, even her stand-up special with her parents only. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. It's called My Special.
How ahead of its time is that for right now?
It's great.
It's like, okay, people, hey, watch this. Because this is what it's like.
Her parents are in her parents' living room, and she comes out and does a show, and then she'll take breaks and go to the kitchen where her friend is, and they'll hang out for a second.
Just like,
it's so funny.
Fully timeless now.
She is phenomenal.
She's so funny.
Have you seen her on the Kroll Show?
Yes. Oh, well, I've watched all the Kroll shows.
With the pugs? Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking funny. So she's great on that. And then, so it's the three of them, and they watch every single episode of Bonanza, which I will say there's like 400.
Oh, yeah.
And they're only 15 in.
We talked last week about how I watched Turner Classic Movies.
Bonanza.
Channel Bonanza was one of those.
Bonanza. And then they'll have a guest on usually.
It was my least favorite of all the
it's like Michael Landon is Little Joe or something. Like I have more information about Bonanza from listening to that show.
Michael Landon like one of Blake's crushes?
Maybe.
Who is Michael Landon? No,
Michael Landon was...
on another podcast. There's this guy, Theo Von, and he has a huge crush on Michael Landon. Yeah.
Oh, Theo Von does?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know Theo Von.
I know him. I don't know him very well. What's his last night or this weekend or something?
This past weekend. He needs to be the new Ernest, I think.
Oh, I have heard of that before, yes.
John Cena or Theo Von needs to be the one. I mean, that's in your wheelhouse.
The mantle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm an Ernest guy.
They
I have an Ernest doll. I've got a new Ernest T-shirt at home.
I feel like John Cena would be fine. Like John Cena is great at. He's like a really really good actor. Actually,
He's not bad. Yeah.
and he's a good family man. He would do the work to be Ernest. But I think Theo Von he has the accent. He's kind of aloof. He's kind of aloof.
I don't know much about him. I'd have to dig in.
Just naturally, like his vibe is
New Ernest Theo Von.
I think it would work really well.
Let's break down the pilot.
Let's hear it.
The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island. And we'll do so, I don't know. Like I said, it's an hour and a half long. It's a lot of shit.
It's so much shit.
We can do it quickly, I think, though, right?
I wrote down notes. Like at a certain part of my notes, I said, I'm not taking notes anymore, but then I still did.
I have 75 different notes.
Yeah, okay.
I have a lot of notes.
So beginning NBC Sunday Night Movie.
Mm-hmm.
I had not seen that on a pilot that I had watched for this show. I'm famous for this. I watched the pilots that nobody should have watched.
If this is the first episode of Couch Pilots you're hearing, Kevin has not always been the co-host.
Correct.
But he went back while he was a listener and a friend of the show and watched a lot of these pilots because they're in our show notes.
Yeah, for sure. So you get a little bit of a preview beginning, and I wrote down right here, Kathy Ireland, let's go.
Kathy Ireland is like a model in her bikini shooting on a beach, and they say this is an island, and this island that we're seeing right now is 1,000 miles east of the island, which is the island in question of the show.
Island.
The
island.
Andy Samberg?
Ambi Sander. The island. Why do you keep saying the island? Why do you keep saying the island? Are you talking about the Lonely Island? Yeah, the island.
I know you. Yeah, I know who you are.
I know you are. Did you watch that recently or not? Yeah, because I sent it to you.
Yeah, I watched it again. Yeah,
it's so funny.
And then they throw Paul Rudd at the very end. Yeah, it's great. The Michael Showalter should be watched.
It's a great thing.
There's
Kathy Ireland. Yeah. I feel like this is a shame because cutting into review of the show, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna throw this on its head. We're gonna throw it on its fucking head. Fucking
whatever.
It's a shame because it's not great quality. I found 3 or 4 versions of this.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to watch the one with the best quality. I couldn't see Kathy Ireland like. She's not like, she doesn't have like massive jugs or anything. Like she's just very pretty.
She's jugless, yeah.
But she's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And like I couldn't find a version of this where I could just see Kathy Ireland like
in all her like HD
beauty.
Glory.
Yeah. Which even today, to this day, she's in her like 50s, 60s. She's gorgeous.
I bet she's in her early to mid 50s right now. And
yeah,
she's a
she
beautiful
is
woman.
just beautiful.
Absolutely,
so
she is.
I just wrote down like Kathy Ireland, let's go.
My friend in high school was like completely infatuated. When it comes to like
92, so this is like right in that wheelhouse,
the puberty.
right?
Yeah, you're starting to bud some pubes
for
down
you.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to like supermodels and stuff, I was always a Cindy Crawford guy.
Cindy Crawford, DeKalb, Illinois.
She was just
her
such
parents,
a beautiful woman.
Her parents, and I mean they lived but a block away from where my aunt and uncle lived.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they? I assume they knew them.
That we went trick or treating at her parents' house.
Wow.
We got candy from her parents.
How about that?
Every year when we were kids, we would go to
trick or treat at Cindy Crawford's.
Well, that was our thing.
House.
Is like we would go, later on. Is a fruit fly or something?
It's a bug.
The hell is that?
I don't know.
Dumbass bug. We would go to DeKalb. That was like our thing. Like, because my aunt and uncle, they don't have any kids, so like we would go there for Halloween when we were young kids. Quick synopsis here at the beginning. Let's just wrap this beginning into.
Do it. You do it now.
I wrote very confusing, basically. They're doing a photo shoot. Bombs start going off. Hey, let's get all in a plane. Hey, we're on an island. I guess just like so quick and not thought out. Like, hey, we're on an island. Let's get in a plane. We're gonna go to another place and get you guys safe. And that's it.
Here's the thing. I don't think we ever find out why there were bombs going off.
No reason for any of that.
There's like a military presence that's moving in. And
to help evacuate people.
but there's also
bombs going
Why
off.
is there this conflict? We don't know. But people, it seems like we're on a jungle kind of island, and like a touristy island. But people are getting gathered together to this small plane. Probably about 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Get into this plane.
But it's very like dumb brain to just be like, there's bombs going off, so they have to get on the plane. Like, how dumb is that?
It's just obviously all of this was plot device to move things forward,
And,
but it
and
doesn't
we
make
don't even
sense.
know where. Well, you know where this is. It is. It is a small country 1,000 miles east of, quote unquote, the island.
That's right.
So it just a very dumb thing. Half the people hey, spoiler alert. Plane crashes in the ocean. They get a life raft. Half the people make it. You meet probably one person on the plane in the viewing of this.
You see that
show.
Kathy Ireland's there, and she makes it. Yeah, they're on this yellow rubber.
You pretty much
raft.
meet all the people that made it.
Mm-hmm.
But half of them don't make it, and then that's kind of a plot point. Like, oh, I wish these people made it, and that's pretty much it. They get to the island that they're on. In a raft, hey, let's meet each other in this raft. Okay, I'm this, and this, and whoa, I don't want to be here. Fuck you. It's just very classic dialogue.
You get to know each of the characters a very little there.
Just so little.
They see some land.
But, in the length of time it takes, it's just enough,
That's all we need right now.
It's just, it's a good exhibition.
It's narrowing. We saw a lot to begin with, so we're kind of narrowing it down. Like, these are the people we're going to focus on.
These are the important people.
And
so they see an island.
yeah.
They're getting there. They're in a life raft, and they're just like, fucking breathing. First person shots of something breathing
underwater. There's some weird shots, and then once they get to land, there's like something watching them in the trees. Almost, it's just some odd shots of things we don't understand quite yet.
So weird.
So they instantly find coconuts and
they find food and water
instantly.
right away. Yeah,
the huge amounts of bananas, and then they spell out help on the beach in case anyone flies by or whatever and sees them.
Of course.
And then we meet Brian, and he's like this little shitty teenager.
Yeah.
And there's another group, and they're gathering wood to burn, and everything is done right away. There's no effort to be found.
It's just like,
really.
okay, hey,
this is our life now.
We found it all, and we're good.
This is what we do now.
Sounds good. And that's kind of charming, okay, in its own way. But I didn't. What I have noted here is they all go. They find like a spring.
Yeah.
And then they go bathe in it.
Having the time of their lives there.
Yeah. I said I didn't have an issue with the video quality until this scene where we have Kathy Ireland like stripping down to her bikini. And I'm like, okay. They're like, these two guys, oh yeah.
Yeah, these two guys are like just so like.
And I'm just seeing this like weirdo
VHS
quality thing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, like I know she's hot, but like this isn't even.
This is when guys get into like weird
good.
like bro homoeroticism. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man. They're like kind of like getting excited.
I wouldn't be weirded out if they just like started making out with each other, Like, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Kathy Ireland definitely strips down into one of those high-waisted bikinis.
She's good looking, right? Like,
and this is Meta Milk Bonier City, I think.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking lady.
She's really good looking, and this is cool. They know what they were doing. They were getting her in there for that, and that's
the eye
good.
candy.
That's good.
And not only do you and I recognize it, but people sitting on the little shore of this. This thing,
like the
ladies
moms.
recognize it.
They're like, oh God, to have that body.
Yeah. One of the ladies there is like a scientist, and she's doing some narration, and she's saying, "Hey, there's something odd about this place."
There's a lot of characters in this that like they dive into each one enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's the scientist lady, and they really rely on her a lot, but then they also rely on a lot of other characters a lot. There's a lot of
the scientist lady really comes handy later with moving the story forward. We find out Kathy's name is Lori. Mm-hmm. And there was
Laura, I think. Right?
Oh, maybe Laura. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a long-haired dude named, I think his name is Matt, and he's like walking.
Didn't even catch that guy's name. Just a long-haired guy, Fabio looking bro. He's cut up from the butt up. He
definitely is. He's shredded.
Yeah,
and he's like he's really infatuated with Laura, as any of us would be. He's walking on the beach and talking to her about taxes because she's sold herself as an accountant rather than the model that she is because she's ashamed of it. And then again, there's something underwater watching them, and we don't know what it is. Yeah, a lot of weird breathing. No, that is odd.
It's super weird.
The pilot, whose name I believe is Rick,
Rick,
he's
yeah.
talking to the stewardess. He's like, they work together, they know each other,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, hey, I feel regret that we're here. I feel like I did something wrong.
He's already like showing signs, and even when he said that, like I'm thinking, okay, something's gonna go wrong because I saw the little preview at the beginning that showed pretty much the plot of the movie.
So then we see a young girl, Ariel, which is a young Nikki Cox. You may recognize her from I think Unhappily Ever After.
I didn't look her up, but I know that she was of note just because she was like top billed on the IMDb page.
She's guest starred on a lot of shows in the early to mid '90s, and she was also on Unhappily Married After, which starred a talking bunny voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, who she would later marry.
Whoa, no way.
And then once they got divorced, she married and then divorced years later Jay Moore.
Cow jumping over the moon. That's my best Jay Moore.
What's that from? Jumping Over the Moon.
Simpsons. I have never watched a full episode of The Simpsons, but yeah, I know it's very weird for you to hear. But he did the hey kids, come over here. He did
Christopher
Walken cow jumping over the moon.
He does a lot of walking that Jay Moore does.
Yeah, never seen a.
He formerly married to Nikki Cox.
Where-
Currently dating Jenny Buss, the owner of the Lakers.
Where Jeannie Buss.
Jeannie Buss, I'm sorry.
Wow,
That is true.
that's awesome. Where can I watch The Simpsons?
On Disney Plus.
Should I?
Give
Give it to me. Just
there's something to be said about the first 7-8 seasons.
Just give me
Yes.
the episodes.
Okay, I'll give you the episodes, but
Never watched a full episode of The Simpsons.
there are cultural touch points in The Simpsons.
I'm not going to look it up, is what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what to watch.
Okay, I'm not going to look it up. You tell me.
I will be happy to tell you.
So
She finds a human skull.
yeah, she screams, blah blah blah. Another guy's like, okay, let's you know what? Where's this Brian kid at? He's on his raft. He's floating out to sea. They go, okay, let's go get this kid, this douchebag. Frank and Rick
Yep.
go out to go get him.
The kid's just floating around.
And he's not far from shore. It's just like, hey, come back is all you need to do.
Yeah.
But they run out into the water
They're
and they
about
go,
knee deep.
which is fine. Hey, if I'm them, I'm not expecting to get bit by a creature, which they do get bit by.
It's like a tentacle creature. And they said it had sea urchin spines and squid toxins.
Yep.
Anyway, so they the two guys, they're both Frank and Rick were attacked.
Oh man, I'm bit. Oh, let's get this first aid, whatever.
Everyone survives. They bring them all back.
Yeah.
So they bring them back, and while they're sleeping, the fruit starts pulsating.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it's called Frank, who was stung. He's like changing and mutating. He looks like a vampire from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I had never really watched that show, but I watched like the commercials for it, and that's exactly what it looks like. He gets up, he like in the middle of the night gets up, goes to the water, lays down in the water, disintegrates into a fucking
Swamp Thing
missing link looking swamp thing
from the
looking
Monster
water
Mash,
creature.
right?
Yeah,
Looks like Swamp Thing from the
Yeah.
Monster Mash.
sucked off somebody.
In the morning, when everyone's getting some fruit from the pile they had scavenged the night before, the fruit starts like exploding.
The bananas squirt goo on them.
Oh, it's so gross. They're all rotten and
That is
weird.
really the grossest part of this.
It's pretty weird and, again, never explained. And it's okay to leave some questions for a show that you want to
For
go
sure.
forward, but
Yep.
it's very odd. Nick the pilot, or Rick, rather,
Yeah.
he awakens and immediately starts asking about Frank because he's missing.
Yeah.
And even Rick is looking and acting weird.
He's looking weird. Yep.
And somehow he knows Frank swam out to sea. Like, how the fuck would you know that?
He's like, let's go to another part of the island. Let's go. Let's start walking. They start walking to another part of the island. They stumble upon a giant observatory-looking building.
Like a big research center or something.
And then really, it's all unimportant. It's just they're in there figuring everything out, and Rick is looking rough at this point. During the night, Rick leaves. He leaves. They search for him in the morning, right? They go out because they're like, oh, Rick's gone. They search for him in the morning. He just wakes up in the middle of the night, leaves. They go, four of them go, and they run into some natives.
Yeah. We have not seen hide nor hair of other human beings on this, but in
all
fact there are.
All of a sudden, there's natives on this island. They start to blah, 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 blah. They talk to the chief, whatever. Linda is the native that brings them water when just them four are just laying on a bed of something.
And she's a cute native.
I wrote smoke show.
Smoke show native. And especially Vic, who's kind of like the military
He's
guy.
like this troop guy.
Yeah, he's especially infatuated with her.
Just fucking loves her. He's just like some like New York asshole guy. just loves babes.
Yeah.
Just loves babes. The troop, then I don't have anything in between. The troop makes out with Linda. Do you have anything in between that?
There's a lot, but it doesn't
There's
matter.
so much
so
that's
much
in between.
going on here.
It's just so long. The troop makes out with Linda. She turns into a monster while he's making out with her.
Did this really happen? Or is he just going nuts? Was he stung by, like, that's never really explained either.
The food situation is like so weird because they're like, hey, I think I'm going to bed. Like a couple times. They've been there for like a week or so and they're like, hey, yeah, I think I'm just going to go to bed. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? You need to be like out looking for food all the time.
Yes.
And they're just like, oh, I'm going to bed. It's just really weird. So like they're just going to bed and Vic like goes and starts to hit on this. He's just horny.
Yeah,
so
while they're kissing, she starts to speak English, which she wasn't before, mutates and attacks him.
Yeah.
And then when he grabs his gun and holds it to her head, she turns back into a person, but we don't know if that's really happening or if it's in his head.
Hallucination, whatever. They go back to the base. Rick is actually back at the base, and he's acting normal. He's not all weird out.
He's like trying to fight whatever's going on inside.
Yeah, he's got some demons inside of his head. Comes back to base. They bang on the front door, or something bangs on the front door. So Rick goes and checks it out. Hey, it ripped open the door. Ding, ding, ding. Something's coming up the elevator. It's a swamp thing.
It's Frank, man. And he recognizes that it's Frank, too.
Yep.
So they kind of battle him a little bit, back and forth.
And he just, like, goes away somehow.
Yeah, he goes away, and then they, like, try to track him down. He's going, like, through the vents, and then he busts through a wall, a la Kool-Aid Man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
very much Kool-Aid Man.
It's so wild. And then
the four people are back at the base at this point. Frank is at a standoff with Rick. Hey, I got the vaccine. Blah 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 blah.
There's some vial they grabbed earlier, and they put it into a syringe.
Like a vaccine. Yeah.
He says we don't know what this place is or why they're doing these things, but they're starting to piece it together. Like this stuff that I found, it might be an answer,
vaccine,
a
cure, or antibody, whatever. He's luring him back into the freezer, which they say is going to be the best thing to do. Get him in the freezer. Frank is back. He wakes up after a couple seconds.
He injects him with that shit,
yep.
and like it brings him back to normal.
He goes,
practically.
"Hey, did you know what he said?" He's just like, "I'm alive. This place sucks," basically, and then just dies.
Yeah, and then they bury him outside.
Yeah, he just dies. They bury him. MK Naomi is. I wrote that down.
Well, I know there's like MK Ultra. I have
MK
heard
Ultra,
of that,
and that showed up on the computer screen.
Yes,
when Brian, the asshole kid, was hacking into
MK Ultra was some sort of like government mind control experiments they did, right?
Yeah.
So this is in line with that, maybe just human experiments that they're doing.
MK Naomi.
Rick, like this, okay, so they inject it in Frank. Frank goes back to looking human, but dies.
Yep, but dies right away.
And then Rick's like, well, I'll just fucking inject myself with this shit too. It's like, why would you ever do that if you're going to die? But he does, and he seems to start to get better.
And he's just fine. Yeah.
There's more narration. They drop a care package off to the natives, the very same natives that Vic held a gun to one of their heads to earlier. And then they gather in front of the facility where they're staying in an obvious shot as it expositions out. We see everyone there is like, oh, like we're survivors.
We're gonna do it.
The end.
Fuck this show.
Kind of.
We are now crossing a zone of
Fuck this
turbulence.
show. My God, Turbulence. An hour and a half long. Why
commercials? Did we note the commercials?
We didn't note any of them because we don't have time to note them.
I didn't even write down the notes.
I wrote them all down for the commercials.
Okay, but can we talk about one?
Yeah.
Specifically one.
Please.
Wings.
Yes, this is an NBC show, so during some of the commercial breaks, they would say, "Join us for our, the season premiere of some of our flagship shows, such as
like
Cheers."
There was like a holiday spectacular thing too, wasn't there? Or no? Am I dreaming?
There may have been. I'd have to go through my notes.
Okay.
But I do remember Cheers and Wings, and then on another commercial, they talked about the double shot of Seinfeld, and then our new show, Mad About You, which would go on to be a very successful program.
Yeah. But they did shut out Cheers. It was when the bar burned down.
Oh yes,
That famous episode that I never watched a single episode of Cheers.
I don't remember seeing that one specifically.
No, but his bar burned down, so it was probably at the end of the rope of the show.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I don't think 92? That was the last episode, but 92 had to be their last season. It was like 80,
it had to be. His bar burned down.
81 to 92.
Yeah. So we saw a lot of cool commercials. I mean, I remembered 0 of them, but I know that they were cool.
Well, it's funny because on our old show, IBWIP, we used to do a segment.
It burns when I pee.
Thank you. We used to do a segment when we would meet someone for the first time. The segment was called Getting to Know You.
Yeah, Anna Leon Owens from The King and I.
And then a version of that was played in a commercial for a Geo vehicle, and that was in the commercials that we saw today, Getting to Know You.
On our way home from my parents' house on Sunday, said, let's listen to Disney tunes. Let's listen to Disney music because Ian has been into the Disney stuff, whatever. Play some Moana songs, some Frozen songs. Those are the things that the kids are into, okay? I said, okay, he's not into it anymore. He's just in his own world. He's looking at, I have my old burner phone that he's just looking at videos on in the backseat. I said, I want to listen to some Disney songs that I know and that you know. Cannot get through any Disney song from the early 90s or mid 90s without crying for some reason.
Yeah.
Cannot listen to You'll Be in My Heart by
Tarzan?
Paul Simon from Tarzan.
Is that Paul Simon or is that Phil Collins?
Phil Collins, excuse me.
Okay.
Paul Simon did another one of those movies, but I can't listen to any of the Tarzan, the Hercules. I can't listen to any of those without just fully cry. I'm like, I'm glad Steph's in the back seat at this point. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just singing this song. Oh, it's fun. Yeah, you remember this one?
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's like fully tears going down.
Sure.
I don't. It's just because I'm a dad, I guess.
Some of these things evoke emotions.
It doesn't matter. I mean, like I am that way regardless of if I have a child.
You feel the same way when you hear Getting to Know You.
I, for some reason, said, hey, let's listen to, because we were listening to Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast was my sophomore year musical, my freshman year musical. I played Louis Leon Owens, the son of Anna Leon Owens from The King and I, Getting to Know You. I had a solo in that song.
Yeah.
I had a solo in a couple songs. It was a very critical moment of my theater career. I was a freshman and had a couple solo songs.
Well, I have never seen a production or the film version of The King and I.
The King or I.
But
or I.
I remember when we were talking about having new people on the old podcast, and I was like, we should do a segment where we get to know them. And then I immediately thought, oh, Getting to Know You. Yeah. I remember that commercial, Getting to Know You, and I know that
Geo.
I do know it from that commercial, and we saw that commercial. Danger Island.
I watched this pilot after I had listened to the song.
Yeah,
like mere hours
and it's like,
after
oh
listening
my God.
It's like, oh,
total kismet.
Holy shit, kismet. But that song, that musical, The King and I, very special to me. My first bit part in anything was in The King and I. Well, I should say first legitimate because it was high school. 8th grade, I was Aladdin in Aladdin. I mean, thank you very much.
Hey, not bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Bleep bloop, Bitcoin.
Beep bop boop beep. All right, let's take a look. IMDb. People from around the world have rated The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island. What do you think people have said on a scale of 1 to 10, Kevin?
I think that it couldn't be more than... So we say 6.5 is like the...
It's kind of like the median.
The thing, right?
Yeah.
6.5. But I would go I'd flip it around.
Mm-hmm.
Not 6.5, but like 5.6.
Yeah,
but but I'll go 4.6.
4.6. Interesting. That's exactly right. And that's from 388 ratings.
No way.
Totally, man. You nailed it. Congratulations to you. I bet you feel great.
I feel awesome. Feel great. It's like it's September right now.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Viewer reviews. I'll just do a couple of scores here and some headlines because there's a lot of viewer reviews. 7 out of 10 stars.
How many reviews did the 4.6 come from?
388.
Oh, my God. Okay, cool.
7 out of 10 stars viewer reviews. Trivia, ... A series never made. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, great trivia answer.
7 out of 10 stars. Gilligan's X-Files.
Oh, well, that's a great headline.
Another 7 out of 10 scars. Enjoyable time waster. 10 out of 10 scars. So where they got the idea for Lost.
Yeah.
10 out of... Did you ever see Lost?
I never watched it at all, but your sister brought it up earlier in the previous week episode. She said, sounds like Lost.
Just the description of this, and she's like, sounds like Lost, and you're like, man, it comes up a lot.
Yes, it does.
And
I
I've
can
never
only
seen
imagine.
an episode of Lost either.
Same. But honestly, at the end of this, watching it, I thought,
Maybe.
that sounds like the thing that my buddies were all into.
10 out of 10 scars, very good film. 7 out of 10 scars, like Lost, you'll love Uber 90s Danger Island. 9 out of 10 scars, strangely enough, not bad. 7 out of 10 scars, title fit the picture. 6 out of 10 scars, better than expected. 3 out of 10 scars,
Title fit the picture.
above average TV movie, but that's not saying much. 9 out of 10 scars, much better than Lost, good movie, and perfect horror.
Wow, much better than Lost. Holy
Perfect.
shit.
Perfect
horror. Holy shit.
9 out of 10
When was that?
scars. When was that?
I almost want you to dive into the years of those.
Okay. Perfect horror. This is from Dr. Mutilamov
Metamucil.
from May 4th, 2018.
No way.
Start of the movie similar with Lost TV series, but after 15 minutes, we can see the difference between the TV series and the feature movie. For me, generally, feature movies more serious, completed, and better than TV series. 4.6 rating, very, very low for this movie. And if you watch, you can understand me. I highly recommend this good TV movie, especially if you like horrors. That's from Dr. Mutilamov.
Especially if it's a little shop of them.
9 out of 10 scars. The project was called Naomi, and it was on the island. It was called MK Naomi. Okay, that's fine. We can.
Cool.
Last one I'll read is 1 out of 10 scars. A completely pointless exercise.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11, and the temperature
Hey, one look
is
at me, and you'll
69
see that I think all exercise is pointless. High five my
Hey.
shit.
Seatbelt fastened until the captain
You ever
turns
rest
off
your
the fasten
hands
seatbelt sign.
on your belly?
I'm doing it now, and I will continue to do it. What's that? Should I put my feet up there?
That's what you did last time.
I did last time.
Because I had a nicer chair there, and I'm sorry, my nicer chair is upstairs now.
I don't care. That's fine.
Do you want the nicer chair?
No, this is fine.
I'll bring it down.
I think I was just trying last
I'll
time.
bring the nicer chair down.
How about this? Whatever you're doing now, just stop. Go get me that nice chair. Time to rate the presents, a.k.a. Danger Island. It will do so by looking at a 1 through 7 scale based on the television from the 1980s, accurately and affectionately known as Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll take a look at the characters, number 1 being the worst score you can get, and that's a Norm Peterson. Number 7, that's the best score you can get. That's Ted Danson's character known as Sam Malone.
Pecker.
Pecker. Captain Kevmo Slice, I turn to you. How do you rate the presents aka Danger Island?
So I heard the reviews, and going through it, I'm just kind of thinking about it like, oh, maybe I should give it more. Maybe I should give it... No, it's a 2 from me.
Twofer.
I don't like it. I mean, it's not a 1 because they thought about all the shit in there. I mean, okay, I have a lot of friends that enjoyed Lost, and this is very much Lost from what I can tell from the reviews. And also at the end of the show, I was like, is that kind of like Lost? Like, I don't know. I never watched it.
I assumed it would.
Yeah, I assumed it was like it, but because plane crash and I didn't even realize it until it was over. But like, okay, this is kind of like Lost. I give it a 2 because I don't care. Like me,
yeah,
I'm giving it a 2 because I don't care.
that's fine.
But, really, if somebody that likes Lost or likes this kind of thing, they would probably give it a higher score. But I just don't care.
Yeah.
2.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think the effects on this were a little cheesy, but it was 92.
It was 92, and it's hard to judge what's great and what's bad, especially with the effects and all that, and just like, it was weird.
I think the early 90s marks kind of the end of a show doing 100% practical effects.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Towards the mid, like
Definitely.
Jurassic Park, it did some computer graphic stuff, but they went
very little.
They went largely practical effects, which, if you ask me, if done correctly, practical effects are always superior.
You make a movie today with practical.
I
it'd
totally
be great.
agree.
It'd be great. It'd be fully great. Fully great.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
So while this did look a little cheesy, and it does seem to me like what Lost would be in my head, even though I don't remember Lost having monsters in it, but I don't know either. They could have.
Think there was a smoke monster.
Yeah, something about a
Everybody
smoke monster.
knows there's a smoke monster. Something. Yeah.
But this is the most 90s thing I've seen. Like, just the fashion, the fact
that guy,
that
the long hair guy, he only had the bun.
he looked like a renegade or something.
Yeah,
like
he had the bun on like the back of his head, but he
Yeah.
had the hair flowing still in the back. It was
that guy had like that long-haired guy had like
he was hot as hell.
Oh yeah,
He was hot as hell,
he
but
was a
like
piece of ass.
But they like didn't even really like pump him up. They only pumped up Kathy Ireland, which sexist.
Understandably so.
You know.
The long-haired guy had like a hint of ethnicity.
Yeah.
Vic seemed like he could have been like a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Italian, yeah.
the whitest fucking show you've ever seen.
So white.
Everyone was so white, and that doesn't necessarily kill it for me. I'm not like an affirmative action guy or anything.
For sure,
like,
yeah. You don't need to have it if you don't need to have it.
Yeah, but I mean, there could have been at least like a black dude in there.
And
whatever.
you know what? Early 90s, they could have had him just be a normal guy and be a black guy.
Of course.
Which
So,
I mean, in Lost happened.
it was
I'm
it
sure.
was odd that this was so whitewashed. I'm not going to
Yeah.
hold it against it. I
No.
think it speaks to its 90ism.
Yeah. We're not fully woke here.
Oh, absolutely not.
but it was very whitewashed.
Yeah, the interview hadn't completed yet, so they weren't completely woke. It wasn't that good. It felt exactly
Really?
It felt exactly like a TV movie.
If you were going to give me a number 1 out of 7, what would you give it?
Sorry to beat around the bush so much.
Stop beating my bush.
I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
I think there are some redeeming qualities here. It feels super 90s. It feels like there could be a life on TV with this. Maybe especially like NBC, I always felt did a good job of saying, hey, here are some popular people. We're throwing them in a made-for-TV movie. But like as weird as some of it was, it felt like maybe it could have gone to Fox and been a weird show.
Give a season to it.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't really like it. I give it a 3. You give it a 2.
I mean, how many seasons suck? How many shows that have one season?
In the modern era, this is funny. I think a great example of this is the first season, and I think I saw maybe one episode. I don't think that I did though. A great example of this is the television show again on NBC, Heroes. Heroes, it came out of the gate so hot, and people were like, "Oh my God, there's nothing else like this on TV. This is great." And the first season is lauded, and people loved it. And then season 2 rolls around, and they're like, "Oh fuck, I didn't think we'd get a season 2. What are we gonna do now?"
I watched every episode of season 1.
And I heard
I watched
season 2.
the first episode of season 2 and said, "Fuck this."
I think the show was done by season 3, maybe 4. But it was just a case of season 1 being so
don't
good.
even care. Season 1 was great, and it was okay. That's it. But they left it open ended. But hey, this is one of those things where I wasn't pissed off that they left it open ended, but they could have done something with it, which sucks because I gave it, of course, a 2.
And I gave this show a 3. And with that, we will close the book on The Presence, a.k.a. Danger Island. And we will never speak of that show again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Island City.
Island City.
Here's a little something to wet your whistle. A 21st century genetic experiment goes chaotic, creating a race of genetically violent mutants. You can find the entire episode of Island City by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do too.
Join the alt-right.
Yeah, go to Adult Swim and join the alt-right. This creating a race of genetically violent mutants sounds eerily familiar to what we just watched. So
It really does, yeah.
Who knows what next week will have in store for us?
I'm not excited to watch that pilot.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
I value it above all.
You're welcome.
Go to couchpilotspodcast.com
or something else.
Check out our show notes. There might be something else in there that you can go to, a little secret.
Sure. Yeah.
If you do go to one of those places, it'll have our Facebook, Twitter, and our email. You can get a hold of us in a myriad of different ways, and you'll get frequent flyer points if you do so.
Mm-hmm.
Become a frequent flyer member of Couch Pilots, and then call us at 910-PILOTS-1 or 910
745-6871.
Yeah, leave us a voicemail. You hear it right here on the show. And then if you want to support us monetarily, you just contact me directly. I'll give you my address. You can send me a check.
And also you can get my Venmo from me if you want to go to Trivia Ever.
Oh, yeah. Do Kevin's Trivia. He's great.
Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central. Log into the Zoom info. 426-691-4072.
It's crazy. You remember that?
If there's going to be a password, it's going to be 54. But if there's not a password, just wait in the waiting room. I'll let you in.
And what app should they download so they can
Zoom.
answer?
That's the Zoom. Excuse me. That is a Zoom that you need to get into with the meeting code 691. Wow, I said it earlier and I forgot it.
But there's an app too that you have to get into.
Here's the thing: you need two things. You need a way to watch the trivia. When I say watch the trivia, I mean be in the Zoom and participate in the Zoom.
Usually like a laptop or a tablet.
Usually a laptop and tablet, and that is going to be your answering. Like that's going to show you the trivia. It's going to be full screen on that device. The other device, which I would recommend, would be your phone. Get the Kahoot app, Kahoot, Kahoot app.
Yes.
And get on there and answer key is what you're going to need to do. I'm talking to all those people who listen to the podcast who I don't know personally, which is probably not many people, but go on Zoom, get on there. It is 6. You know what? I said it earlier.
Put it in the show notes. Just put it in the show notes.
Put it in the show notes.
Kevin does a great job hosting
it's
trivia.
A fun time.
He used to do it at a couple of different bars in the Peoria area, but with COVID hitting, he's taken it online. And here's a great way where you can interact with a co-host
fully
of Couch
free.
Pilots. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes I jump in it too, and I have a great time. Kevin does an excellent job hosting.
Fully free, and that's what you need to do. Also listen to the Sixer podcast on Thursdays. Also listen to Karaoke Biggie on Tuesdays every week.
Every other week, check out what is that show called? The Ernest P. Worrell Preservation Society. It's about everyone's lovable loser, Ernest P. Worrell. You know what I mean, Vern? That guy. It's a show that I do with.
Do you know what I mean, Vern?
He's friends of the show, Dustin and Hoover Boss. I do a show with them.
Yeah.
About all the unmade Ernest programs that never were given, information given to us by the people who actually created Ernest, believe it or not. That comes out every other Monday.
Spoiler alert, both of them will be on this show very soon. I'm sure of it.
That is true. I was just talking to Hoover the other day about it.
Awesome.
Anything else you'd like to say before we go?
I'd like to say thank you for being in the taint.
Mm-hmm. Take advantage of your taintness. Get those tickets to CouchCon.
Tickets to CouchCon. Thank you for being in the taint. Touch your taint.
Don't neglect it. It's
who do you touch your taint?
Yes. It sometimes it'll be itchy and I have to go for it.
Sure. But even when it's not itchy, just touch your taint. I mean,
it's a part of you.
Why not? What
Don't neglect it.
Okay, sure. I itch my balls.
Right, yeah.
Itch your balls over the jeans. Cool, that's fine. Everybody does that. Get inside your pants. Put your hand inside your pants. Okay, if you're going to itch your balls, go ahead and itch your balls. Touch your taint and give it some love.
Yes.
That's where we're in right now. We're in the taint of the holidays.
Yeah.
In between Christmas and New Year's Day. New Year's Day, famously.
The holotaint.
It's famous. The holotaint.
Holotaint. Celebrate.
It could be a holotaint.
If you want to celebrate anything, it's New Year's Day. I pray that you celebrate my wife's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Every year it happens. It's New Year's Day. Stephanie Clark's birthday is New Year's Day. Please post on her Facebook wall. Tag her on Twitter and Instagram at Stephanie Clark
Yeah, definitely do that.
with a P at the end.
Clarp. That's right.
Yep, Stephanie Clark.
Well, that's a lot of information at the end of the show.
It is very much so, and we like to hear it because that's what we do. We plug everything at the end. And I'd like to plug my own bung.
Bung?
Yeah.
That's, you know what a great way to end the show. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth taint here on Couch Pilots. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.
On behalf